I want to thank Toronto for raising me to love movies.
Hello, hello!
Everyone has a big imagination. All of us do.
This is exciting. My first film to premiere here at the Toronto Film Festival. It's an exciting night.
You are the most globally exciting festival.
Conference for Mary Kom. A few points before we begin. This press conference will be streamed live at www.tiff.net, and the still photographs will be made available on the TIFF media site. There are volunteers in the room with microphones to assist you with your questions. Please remember to identify yourself and your media outlet. Please note, no photography is permitted during this press conference. Only the pre-approved wire services may take photographs. If you could take a moment to turn your cell phones to silent. And our moderator for today is Mohit Rajans, and it is now my pleasure to welcome Priyanka Chopra and Umang Kumar from Mary Kom. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And first of all, I do want to apologize about the slight delay. We literally have talent here who ran from their car to get here and make sure that they were here for this fabulous press conference. So I'd like to thank you guys for getting your cardio workout in. We're here for the press conference, for the first press conference of the Toronto International Film Festival this year for Mary Kom. The movie Mary Kom is inspired by the triumphs of India's first female Olympic boxing medalist. Born to a tribal family in the northeastern state of Manipur, the village girl was initially forced to conceal her passion from her disapproving parents and would later clash with Indian boxing officials for the facilities available to female contenders. Yet Kom would also go on to become a 5-time world champion, often punching literally over her weight. Director Umang Kumar treats us to a rousing dramatization of Kom's journey from her earliest bare-knuckled street fights to her remarkable professional comeback following the birth of her twin sons. In the title role, Chopra is a powerhouse. She has an impressive physical prowess and all-conquering will to win that epitomizes the athlete. To my left, beginning with Miss Chopra, Miss Priyanka Chopra, she's a multi-award-winning actor, singer, and all-round artist. She's one of Indian cinema's most recognizable talents, who has not only starred in many films, but also recently began an international music career. No stranger to Toronto, she has not only had her films premiere here at the Toronto Film Festival, but she's also shot films here as well. We welcome Priyanka Chopra back to the city of Toronto.
Thank you.
Director Umang Kumar is best known as a production designer and art director for such great films as Sawarya, Black, and Just Dance. This is his first feature film, and I would like to personally congratulate you for not only making your first feature film, but having it have its world premiere at the Toronto International Film Festival. So welcome, Umang.
Thank you.
Let's get this started. There's a lot of questions I know that the audience has, so I'm gonna let you guys put your hands up, and then we will get a microphone over to you. But I want to start off, Umang, if we can, by asking about why did you decide that this was going to be your first feature film project, and where did this story really come to you from?
I wanted to make something concrete and something that I'm proud of. Instead of just making a love story and just being me too in the crowd, I wanted something which would make me stand up and notice. And 3.5 years back, I told my writer, Sivan, to just come up with a biopic and a women-oriented story, a female-oriented story, which India would take notice. So that's how he came up with the word Mary Kom, and that's how Mary Kom happened for me.
Priyanka, a definite departure for you, a film that required a lot of physical and mental strength. But how did you decide at this point in your career that this was the film that you were going to be able to tackle and do and dedicate yourself to?
First of all, good afternoon, everyone. I apologize for my voice. I've been on an insane traveling schedule, so I don't have to. I usually don't sound so sexy.
That's not true.
That's true. You're right. I do. But Mary Kom, for me, I always try to sort of push the envelope a little bit. I like doing parts which are a departure from something that I've done before or what's expected of me. From the beginning of my career to now, I've always sort of tried to pick and choose parts which are considered different for female actors, especially in India. I think that I want to be able to change the game a little bit for the future generation of female actors. And I'm fortunate that I get directors and writers who write these parts for me. I was very excited when Umang came to me with this film. Come to me with something difficult and I'll be the first one to do it. And Mary Kom has been, you know, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears for me, and
Literally.
and yeah, literally, and I just hope that you know, now that it's time to put the baby bird out there, I don't know what I'm feeling.
Well, the early reviews are extremely positive, so congratulations on that. People are very happy with the results of the film. But I have to ask, Umang, was there a worry that making your first film in a non-traditional Bollywood song and dance motif, were you worried a little bit that there was going to be some potential backlash from that?
No, not at all. In fact, because the story holds you so much that you forget that whether it's a Bollywood film or a you know, Hollywood film, it's a good story to be told.
Right.
And once we were doing the film, we knew we were doing something right. You know, and it's not that Bollywood means song and dance. There are songs in this film,
Right.
but you won't even know when it comes and goes off. You know, it's just a background score. Though there's one main song which Priyanka has sung, it's like a lullaby. And why she sang? Because Mary Kom also sings. So
She
we
loves
had to,
singing,
you know,
it's
she
her
loves
favorite
to
thing.
sing. So we had to put that little bit, and that's it. But not that I miss Bollywood in this. It has all its, you know, Bollywood masala if you want.
Right.
The ending and
Definitely,
so
yeah.
it has everything. If
Yes,
you've seen
that
the
ending
film.
for sure has
You
that-
see in the film, so
yes.
you know.
And Priyanka, if we do want to touch on the significance of Mary Kom, she's very supportive of the film and was very much a part of the development process as well. We had a question on Twitter, somebody asking us, what did you learn from working with her?
First and foremost, when Umang came to me with the story, I knew of Mary Kom as an Olympic medalist. And I was extremely ashamed of myself that I had no idea she was a 5-time world champion before that. And a lot of Indian people didn't know that either. Sport in the country is very cricket-driven.
Right.
It's not really, and especially for women, absolutely. This is the first Indian movie to ever be made on a female athlete, and I think that's a big testament to how Indian cinema is evolving and accepting women and good parts for women. And Mary was extremely excited. She was extremely moved when she saw the movie. She cried many times, and of course I cried when she cried, and we all cried because that's what girls do when we're happy. But it was really lovely. It was you know, she's been through some tough times. You know, being a rice farmer's daughter who comes from a small town a small village out of Manipur. The Northeast anyway faces a lot of racism in India. So that was very difficult for her to come out of the Northeast and be a champion, and yet no one knew her. I think the fact that the film has been made on her, she was really moved by the fact that now so many people know of her achievements. And for me, I'm just grateful that she chose me to tell her story.
And speaking of choosing you, Umang, did you know that this production was being designed around having the lead as Priyanka Chopra, or did you have a few people in mind, or how did you know that she was going to be able to take the task?
I've worked with Priyanka I mean, we're friends and we've worked on stage shows, and I've worked as a production designer in her films and all. So whenever we used to work together, she's so finicky, she's so dedicated, as in, if a normal 5-minute performance on a stage, she'll say, what is my prop? What is the backdrop? How will it look? Right. Is it my best entry?
Hey, there's nothing wrong in being a perfectionist, okay?
So I know that, because I've worked with lots of other actresses, and I knew if you can handpick who can perform this role, I mean, I always had in mind that she would do it, you know, because I've been writing this with Saivan for the last 3.5 years. And so it so happened that Olympic happened, and suddenly Mary Kom became famous, and oh my God, Mary, who has the script and all. So I had it, and once Sanjay was there, and he asked me, what are you doing? I said, it's a movie that, it's a different movie. It's not your type of movie. It's not my type of movie. So he said, what is it? I said, it won't interest you. He said, tell me what it is. So I narrated him at the lift itself, and he said, I'm doing it. And he asked me, who do you want? So I said, Priyanka Chopra. He says, okay, go and approach. So I just approached her, and she said, yes. I mean, that's the way history
Yeah,
is
it kind
made.
of just fell together.
Is it really that simple with you with picking your projects these
Oh,
days?
it's not. It's really not.
No, because
you have to come to me with a whammy.
okay. But in all seriousness, how are you deciding the roles that you want to take on, considering how many different types of characters you've already played? In some cases, you've played films that are premiered here where you've played multiple characters in one film. So,
Yeah. For me, see, I'm not from the movie business. When I came into movies, I was just 18 or 19. I had no idea what movies were, and how do you pick a story, and what's the right way of doing it? How do you maneuver a career? I had no idea. The only thing I knew is I like stories. Every night my mom would tell me a story before I went to bed, and so whenever I heard a story, I just had to feel like, okay, this is a movie I'd like to go and watch. And if I feel like I want to go and watch the movie, I end up doing it. I make mistakes. I don't make mistakes. Not everyone can have a 100% track record. But because I always try and pick, the only conscious thing that I do is have variety. Because honestly, I have a very short attention span. I think I get bored of doing the same thing. I don't think I'd myself be able to watch myself do the same thing in every film. I don't like repeating myself. So hence, looking at different paths, looking at something that would push me and excite me to evolve is what I look at in films.
excellent. I'm going to remind the audience that if you have a question, you can just put up your hand and somebody will bring a mic to you. And in the meantime, I also want to ask Umang, your attention to detail in this film is phenomenal considering the different time periods you went through. How did you do your research? Because some of it seemed a little bit so recent that you forget that it was the recent past. And you had some great attention to detail there, including the TV sets from the late 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that part in this film, I haven't done it. Okay, my wife, Vanita, she's
You're giving
a
the credit.
production
Good.
No, she's the production designer
designer
of the
of the
film.
film. So she has taken the whole reins in her hand, and she's done every detail possible. This movie, there are no huge sets and all, though everything is a set, but the detailing is done in such a way that we had to represent Manipur in Manali because we were shooting in Manali and Dharamshala. So every small detail was taken up from Manipur
And
and
recreated.
recreated in Manali.
Oh, wow.
You know, from the church, from a house, from the boxing ring, everything. And hats off to her that she's done it. I mean, for me, I had to just direct. If I would put like, that's not wrong, then just shut up. I mean, I know my job, so let me do it. So that's how it, but yes, the detail was done because...
Wives are the same everywhere.
Right. Work and home, right?
Yeah.
I do want to ask, Priyanka, this film came in your life at a very different time, very challenging time. How did you channel your personal energy during the challenges you were facing to the project?
I started filming the movie about 4 days after my dad passed away. I was training for it when he was really ill, and I remember we'd come for TIFF to Canada, which was one of the last events my dad went to. And right after that, that's when I was training for the movie because I had to develop a body which was like a boxer, and then I had to take a few weeks off because dad got really ill. But I think I channeled all my grief, I think, into this movie, and that's what drove me. It just pushed me. It just pushed me to be, I had really punishing schedules because I was filming Krish, Gunde, and training for this movie. And we used to shoot almost 14 hours a day. And after that, I used to go to the gym for about 2 hours, and I used to do boxing training in the morning. So I had like 18-hour days for almost 2 months. My body would hurt in places I didn't even know could hurt. But I guess everything just got channeled. This film is very personal to me on that many levels, I think.
I do obviously wonder, at any point in the physical training of it, do you stop and think to yourself, I don't think I can do this?
Every night.
Yeah.
Every night I would go back home and my mom would, say, just get into the bathtub, and she'd put like salts because it helps with the pain. and I would just cry, and I'd be like, I don't think I can do this. I should have, taken off and taken 6 months off and then trained for the
Right.
movie
Just focused
and
on.
not done so many things, but I was committed to other things. So it just every night I used to say, I don't think I can do this, and then every morning I would wake up and say, hey, why not? Anyone can do what I can.
You'll see it does pay off in the final performance. There is a question in the audience. If you could just stand up, please, and identify your media outlet and ask your question.
Okay.
I believe the mic should be on.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Almost.
All right, so I'll speak away. I guess my question is, do you guys see this film as being a trendsetter for more sports films in India?
Sorry, what was your name?
Oh, sorry. My name is Swati Sharan, and I'm representing Minority Review.
Okay. Hi, Swati. I think when we made the movie, we didn't have any thoughts, if I can speak on behalf of the team. We didn't have any thoughts of this being a trendsetter or a trendy or any sort of trend. But for me personally, I do hope that if this movie ends up, being business viable, if it makes money, if it's commercially successful, which female films sometimes in India don't get as much as the boys do. And I'm not saying, of course, this film will, make as much money as the boys' movies do. But if it ends up, breaking those barriers, I think it'll change a lot of things for female actresses. I'm hoping for that. I mean, we've done our best. I don't know what will happen, but I don't want to say that, oh, now, just because we've made a sports movie, we should just keep making sports movies. Cinema it's magic. It's what a director wants to make. It's the medium of a director, and he could want to make anything.
It would basically open up doors for people to experiment at least. Look up at like, okay, these are sports films. It makes money, as she says, and
Hopefully.
maybe people will try a hand at that. Yeah, sorry.
I'm Devina. I'm representing Times Now from India. Now, my question is a little more business related. It's basically, why would you choose TIFF as your platform for a global premiere for Mary Kom? Is it because it's releasing in India simultaneously? What is a coincidence? Or is there a greater plan to target the North American audience? And also a question to Priyanka simultaneously. Priyanka, you've been here earlier with IFA, and you've also been here with TOIFA. Do you see the North American market opening up for the movies? Apart from the Desi audiences, is there a larger plan to target the American audience as well?
Do you want to take yours? Go ahead. The reason I think why we came to TIFF was, first of all, it was on opening day, being an opening movie at a very prestigious film festival like TIFF was a big deal for us. We're a small baby movie, and for us to get an opening day premiere was a big deal. So first of all that. Second of all, yes, it would bring the movie and me and our team to North America, which is a big market for us. We have a huge audience here, which is ever increasing by the year, which doesn't just mean people of Indian descent, but also Americans from not just of
Not just the
Bangladesh, and
diaspora.
not just the diaspora of India or Asia for that matter. But it's really interesting to see how many people have started enjoying Bollywood movies, and keeping in mind that we have a language barrier. We're not in English. We are subtitled movies, but yet the culture of India, I feel, is so tremendously interesting that it's pulling a lot more of an audience, not just in North America, but if you see Europe, you see Southeast Asia, of course UAE, globally, it's opening up a lot more. So it was a conscious decision when we were invited to come to TIFF to actually come here. And plus, yes, you're right, it's opening all over the world. So we just had to pick which place, and TIFF seemed the best.
And a great relationship you have with the City of Toronto as well,
Yes.
right?
I love coming to Toronto, by the way. I feel amazing. Every time I've come here, so many times, there's so much love and affection towards me and the work that I do that I really feel like, it's almost another home.
But you did say that you weren't a fan of the traffic. In fact, Can we?
Hey, I come from Mumbai, okay? If you can live and drive there, nothing else matters.
Yes.
Right now,
Yes,
yes.
that's the story I was hoping you were saying.
No, right now, because my flight was delayed and I knew this press conference was happening and we were stuck outside in traffic, so we just jumped out and ran. It's a very desi thing to do.
Can you imagine seeing Priyanka Chopra running down the street, running down King Street in Toronto, only at TIFF, only at TIFF? Oh, she answered the question. Was it about her running down King Street? Was that the question? Preeti, yes?
Hi, I have two questions. This is Preeti Thandi for the Weekly Voice. Umang, I would like to ask you, how much of the film is real? Because, we know it's based on her life, but what we see, how much of it was changed and how much is real?
We've not changed anything. It's 100% real. All the facts, the timelines, the date, what has gone through her life, everything is there. Except when you have to cut down 12 years into 2 hours, you have to, weave in little bit of the storyline to attach those events. That's how we've just taken liberty. But otherwise, everything is real. In fact, Mary is like saying, "This is my movie." The in-between parts.
She calls it her photo album.
Yeah, in the sense, I mean, if
The baby dying.
Let's not ruin the film. in
sorry.
general.
Ooh, spoiler alert! Oh, yes.
That
But
incident
no,
happened.
don't talk about it,
That
but
incident
yes.
happened. Yes. How we filmed it is a different way, but yes, it did happen. So all
It's
the
a true
facts are right.
incident. In
It's a
fact,
true.
yesterday I met her son,
Yeah.
and she showed
She
me the
showed,
scars.
yeah.
How old
Yeah.
are
So-
the twins now?
Now they must be about 7, I think.
7, 8.
7 or 8.
And she has the third one also.
And she
right
has a
now?
third baby.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I mean, just to add to that, there are a lot of scenes that you will see in the movie which you'll feel like, what? That can't happen. Like when she went bald. It's true.
It's all true.
She's, she's that kind of girl. She got mad at some people and just shaved off her head.
What was it like the
The
first time you saw
chair
yourself
throwing,
bald?
chair
Hey,
throwing is
I'm
all
really
real.
pretty bald, okay?
It's like,
I was
you.
actually walking around, feeling my head.
I don't think that the public has seen the look of you bald yet, right? Since
no, they have.
Oh, they have?
They have.
They have?
I mean, when the trailer was there and it just went.
Oh, very
What?
quickly.
Was she
Yeah,
bald?
you'll-
I say, yeah.
Trust me, you'll see a very different looking Priyanka Chopra. You're great looking as usual, but bald was a surprise.
Right?
So yeah, it was.
Sorry, Priyanka, I wanted to ask you, how has the film changed you? It's an inspirational film. Has it inspired you or changed you in any way?
Every movie of mine, I feel takes a part of my soul. I leave a little bit of myself. By the end of my career, I don't know what I'll have left, but I get very, very deeply moved and involved with my movies. It's a very spiritual process for me, and especially this movie. It required a huge amount of dedication and focus because I had to change not just my body, but the way I think. Mary boxed for 15 years. I had to do it in 3 months. So it was extremely hard. But like I was saying the story before, the one thing that it did change about me, which I will carry with me for the rest of my life, is nothing's impossible. Because every night I would sleep saying, I don't want to go to work tomorrow. Oh my God, my body hurts. I can't do this. I'm crying. I don't want to be a boxer. I don't think I can do it. I've bitten off more than I chew. But the next morning when I would sit in my car with my cup of coffee and go to work, I was just like, man, only I can do it. I can do it. And that was the spirit of Mary Kom. For me, this movie is really not just Mary Kom's story as a girl. This is the story of everyone out there who says, you know what, no one can tell me that my dreams are small. No matter what my circumstances, no matter what the situation around me, boys or girls, no one has a right to say you have a dream which is unachievable. Because if you take your life in your hands and you hold on to that zid, like we made the song about that, then you can achieve anything. And that's what it changed in me. Thank you.
Umang, I have to congratulate you as well on your action sequences and the shooting of the fighting sequences as well. Talk to me about how you were able to plot that, and talk to the audience, sorry, about how you were able to plot that and make it look not cheesy.
See, I'm a debutant director, okay? I've never assisted anyone. I've learned on working on different films. And here comes a film which I'm doing on boxing. I don't know head or tail of boxing, okay? So I had to learn boxing myself. She had to learn. In fact, the whole crew had to learn a little bit of boxing to know that knowledge, what is it? Now, while shoot, how do we shoot it? Who do I ask? You know, there's nobody in the film industry has shot boxing. So we developed our own style, you know. It should not look cheesy, you're right, exactly. When we got Rob Miller to do the action choreography for us, we got Christy to teach her the skills. We had Indian boxers who had boxed with Mary Kom in their camp and all. So they
Christy,
came.
just to add,
Sorry.
trains, she came from LA, I don't remember her, what's her last name? I forgot. But she comes from, she came from LA, she trains Olympic boxers in the US. So we had her, and we had Rob Miller, who's done a lot of other films like Chak De India, and a lot of sport movies that have been made in not just in India, but abroad as well. They did the action choreography, plus we had Mary Kom's coaches, her own coaches and her own team, to come and teach me her style. And so cohesively, they did the...
But I have to add, I mean, if you're saying it should not look cheesy, sometimes, I mean, all the boxes are real in the film, okay?
Yeah, the opponents
Everyone
were
is
real.
real, and we had to slightly teach them acting, okay? But when they act, it looks fake. So I'm sitting on the monitor over there, and I'm saying, she's not hitting. Priyanka, she's not hitting you. And Priyanka from there, she's shouting, you come here and take the hit. See if she's not hitting. And says, she used to tell the boxers, hit, my director can't see it, just hit. So she's getting banged, she's getting banged throughout.
Sylvester Stallone did it in Rocky, I could do it in Mary Kom.
I guess that's a very good comparison.
So yes, I mean, she got hit, I mean, really she got hit, you know, because it was not looking real on the monitor. So she said, okay, hit me. And she got hit because she's learned boxing completely.
Wonderful. And it's a film that, once again, is premiering tonight at the Toronto International Film Festival. Of course, before you guys leave, now that your baby is done and it's being released, I do have to ask Umang and Priyanka if you could tell us what else we could look forward to within the next little while. Have you picked your next project yet?
I have, but I can't announce it.
Oh,
It
you
will
can't
come very
announce it.
soon.
Not,
I mean,
this
if I
one.
announce it,
Not at an international film
No, no.
festival. Why not?
No,
Okay,
no.
I can respect that.
Sorry, I mean,
Yeah, no.
it will come out in 3 weeks.
Excellent.
Okay.
And Priyanka, do you want your full list? I have it right here of everything you're working on. No. If you could just let the press know a little bit about what else you're working on, that would be great.
Once Mary Kom comes out, I'm working on Zoya Akhtar's new movie called Dil Dhadakne Do, which is almost on completion, which finishes at the end of September. Then I get into my maiden production. I'm producing a movie with Madhur Bhandarkar. He's agreed to be my first director, which is called Madam Ji. After that, I get into Sanjay Leela Bansali's next film, which is Bajirao Mastani.
Wow. Well, I can't thank you enough on behalf of the Toronto International Film Festival for bringing your film here. Congratulations on such positive response so far. Have a great time tonight at the red carpet, and we welcome you back to Toronto anytime you want to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.